Hey, how you doing, big dogs? It's Big Time Thailand. You know how I get down on a Tuesday night? This only way I know how. The old school way. Hanging out with the big dogs. Jamming old school freestyle. Ain't nothing better than the old school. OS for life. This is Tylon the Dog Walker. Hey, what's up? It's Tylon the Ninja doing another Tylon the Dog Walker because another Dog Walks came out. As you can see, I have my new discount Big Dog shirt that I just made 5 minutes ago with Sharpie. That's how I kind of make a lot of my shirts. Anyway, I like the video that you guys made with Audrey and whatnot. I don't really have anything to talk about World of Warcraft wise because that's just something I never got into. I was a console gamer from birth till now. So instead, I'm going to talk about a different fantasy game, and that is Dungeons and Dragons, which is something I play every week. So Dungeons and Dragons, kind of like your World of Warcraft or whatnot, but it's all board game based. Here's my setup. Basically, all you know is that you make your class and your character. For instance, I have the player's handbook out for Bard. Kind of explains everything you need to know and everything you got to write down. You could do it the old school way of just getting a pen and paper and just write down your stats. Or you could go print out, go on the Dungeons and Dragons website and print out a character sheet and you can just fill in the rest. Or you can go on D&D Beyond, which allows you to electronically keep your character sheet. And I do that for some of my characters, and other characters I'll write it down, because the one downside of D&D Beyond is that you have to own the expansion books in order to access certain classes and races. So that's the one downside. But, you can also get the books or just look up the classes online and do the pen and paper up. So yeah, you got the books here. It has everything you need to know about setting up your class and choosing your race. Player's Handbook has most of the stuff you need. Like, if you want to be a bard, it's got all the basics of being a bard. It's got the basic races you can do. But if you want, like, a more unique type bard, then you get something like Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which has a bunch of subclasses that you can only access in this, as well as certain extra races you can access in this. Other than that, when you're playing, your most important thing you need is your dice. And see, I got my dice bag here. And I got all sorts of stuff. You got your D4s, D8s, D10s, D6s, D20s, yada, yada, yada. As you can see, I also got my wormwood, which I use for rolling dices on. You don't need one. I just do it because, it's more organized and you don't have to worry about your dice rolling off the table. You just keep them all here. I also got a dice coaster, which is something I got at Comic-Con a few months ago. And I just use that to keep my most used dice, which is my D20s and D6s, because my character class is a monk. So those are the type of dice that he uses a lot. And then I got my little character right here. Look at me. This is Tristan Hammerfist. He's a dwarf monk class. Uses Way of the Open Fist, which you can access on the main player's handbook. And yeah, you have to use D20s to hit and basically do everything. And he uses D6s for attacks. And you can do like 4 attacks per turn. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what D&D is about. You got your player, which is what I have set up here, and you also got your dungeon master, which basically runs the game. They're like they're the quest giver. They control everything, and then it's up to you to combat what they throw at you. This next Monday, I'm actually going to be hosting my own game, which I don't do very well. So, it's very sporadic. It's not very by the books because half the time I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm usually the one in my group that doesn't know what's going on or doesn't know any of the deep lore. And I'm usually asking questions. And asking questions is all right. Another fun game, if you want something more sci-fi, Star Wars has made their own version of Dungeons and Dragons. And it's it's really fun. I really enjoy the Star Wars version because that's something I understand. I grew up on Star Wars. I know the races, I know the types of people, and all sorts of stuff. And it has a different dice system, but it's really fun. Best part about D&D is just the writing mythology. Oh, my roommate just got me. This is the Star Wars RPG, Basic Player's Handbook. Really fun game to play. But anyway, the best thing about D&D, in my opinion, is just that it allows you to create a world. I mean, there is a lot of worlds that's already written or a lot of lore that's already put in, but you can just make your character however you want it to be, and then you don't think as yourself. You think, what would my character do? And you just kind of immerse yourself in this world with all these different characters, and it's just fun. You can do anything in this world. And like I said, you can make whatever character you want. If you want like a gnome ninja, you can do that. If you want a orc wizard, you can do that. You can really do anything. You can even make a robot. There's like robot classes and shit. You can do a changeling, which is like Mystique. It can shapeshift into anyone. But yeah, D&D is just great. I might get into WoW Classic just because it's been hyped a lot. I probably won't play it a whole lot. I'll just get my feet wet and see how it goes. But, D&D, I can't recommend it enough. Just get a group of friends and just, pull out your table. Because that's why my table is set up like this. I just had my D&D session my group D&D session last night. And, man, it's just so fun. Anyway, that's all I got for this title on the Dog Walker. Follow Frank and Brian and Audrey on Twitter, Insta, and whatnot. Watch the Big Dogs Tuesdays and Fridays, and look out for my gifts. All right, see ya.